Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action. I am back, first video of 2022. We are doing a Blu-ray movie update. The pile has grown substantially, so let's get cracking. So it turns out I missed the December update. It didn't kind of happen. I did a couple of other movie-related things, but I didn't do an update. This is the result. So let's just get straight into it with some Bruce Willis. I know, I'm a bit of a... I don't know. I'm just doing it to myself. I know I'm causing myself pain, but I've got to keep doing it. Just like Steven Seagal, I am all in on Bruce Willis phoning it in direct-to-video movies. Always just hoping he's going to not phone it in. He phoned it in a little bit, not as much as usual, but anyway. Apex. So this is his. Well, I can't even say it's his latest because he's perpetually got 6 or 7 latest films. But anyway. This is one of the newest. Also got Neil McDonough. McDonough. Is that how you say his surname? McDonough. Anyway, he's the bad guy, and Bruce Willis is the. Basically, this is another surviving the game, Deadly Prey kind of thing, but it's the futuristic version. It starts off with a good premise. He's a prisoner. He's given a choice between living out his days in prison, high-tech future horrible prison, never seeing his kids again, or he can get release and play in this game as being, one of the participants to be hunted. And a bunch of very cliche hunters go after him. And you think based on that, and I thought up front, oh, well, this means he's going to have to be the focus of the film, lots of him running around and that kind of thing. No. They still managed to just do a 10-minute Bruce Willis film, maybe 15 minutes this time, by spending most of the film having the bad guys, the other, the shooters that are trying to win their prize, fighting each other and complaining to each other. That's what most of the film is spent doing. So yeah, it's got some good ideas, it's got some fun stuff in it, but mostly it's another Bruce Willis phoning it in paycheck. What can I say? Do I ever learn? No, because here is what's this one? Midnight in the Switchgrass. This was an entertaining enough film. It was more of a thriller. It is Megan Fox, and at least they've named her number 1 there. She's in it. I have no problem with her. She's doing fine in movies that are not Transformers. And again, Bruce Willis there on the front of the cover. Was he the star? This has got to be the least amount of Bruce I've seen in a film, and in fact, his entire existence to the plot is irrelevant. He's a cop. He kind of helps her out a little bit. Mostly though, she's just and she deals with this other guy. What is it? Emil Hirsch. There's always a third person who you don't know who ends up spending most of the film. It's actually her film. She's in most of the film as the lead. She's fine, and it's just sort of police procedural kind of thing. It's a decent enough by the numbers plot, but Bruce seriously shows up for like 3 scenes, and in one of them in the cafeteria, he literally goes up to Megan Fox and says, "You know what? I'm done," and walks out. And that's the end of him. That's the end of him in the movie. You get halfway through the movie, he just goes up to the co-star and goes, "Yeah, I'm out of here." And I like to believe that he's actually talking to her and talking to the director rather than him being in character, because it makes it funnier. But anyway, it's again, it's entertaining enough, but you got to be a Bruce masochist at this point to pick up a film like this and expect any Bruce. I didn't, but if you're getting into some of the new Megan Fox DTV action films, it's not too bad. It's just not that explosive. Next up, this one was okay as well. This is The Gateway. I bought this one because it's got Frank Grillo on it. But this was a bit of a bait and switch. He is one of the bad guys. He is not the focus of the film. The focus is this guy that looks a little bit like him, to be honest, which is Wigham. I don't know. I didn't know who he was. This one was fine as well. It's a bit more of a thriller kind of thing. This guy's what was he, working for the child protection kind of thing, and gets a bit too close to whatever her name is, Olivia Munn, I guess, and trying to protect the kids, but the husband comes out of jail, and he's a known drug runner or crook or something like that, goes immediately back into the bad times. He notices this stuff, surreptitious wink in the corner, keeps trying to save them. The husband keeps trying to cause problems, and it's all that kind of thing. Not that much in the way of explosive action. There's some gunfights and a bit of long drawn out deaths and that kind of thing, but again, it's just it's a fine enough thriller. I got these two, this one and Midnight, in the same order, quite cheap, brand new releases, just simple slipcase things. I didn't even show the other one, but it's just the same cover underneath the slip. So if you like a bit more slower paced thriller action films that are not too explosive, and you're not going to get Grillo doing any kickboxing, then yeah, not too bad. The Gateway. This one just came in today. I haven't watched this yet, but I've been kind of keen to see this for a very long time. This is Final Justice, and that intentionally very faded out slipcover. I don't know why they went with that. There's the very vibrant cover underneath. I guess they're making it look like it's faded in the shop window with its fake stickers, is what MVD always does. There's the back of it. It's even got an R-rated sticker, printed on the spine, which is kind of hilarious. This is a Joe Don Baker film from sometime in the 70s. No, 84. 84. I've never seen this one at all. I'm not sure if there was a DVD. Not too sure. Not too sure if this had a DVD. But it is one that I've never seen before. It's just an MVD title that looked interesting to me. I do like Joe Don Baker, and kind of looks, sheriff kind of action, big Smith & Wesson kind of gun. But I can't really talk too much about it. There's the cover again underneath and whatever. But I'm told it's a good one. So Final Justice. We'll see what it's like. This one is bound to be good, but I've been putting it aside for a good, where I really need a good. I need to increase my mood. I shall say this is One Shot, the new Scott Adkins. I know it's going to be good. I put it to a side. The ones that I know are going to be good, I put them aside until I need to watch something that must be good. That I simply have to watch something that I can't take any chances with. It's in that pile, I've heard nothing but good reviews. It's violent. It is literally one shot. Camera follows them around kind of deal. Don't know if it's got tricky editing to make it look that way, or if they actually did it. But anyway, it's the new Scott Adkins. I'm gonna like it. Who did this one? James Nunn did the directing on this one. He did Sniper 5 and 6 and Tower Block, I think he did as well. So he's done some bigger end of sort of the modern direct-to-video action films. So I'm sure that One Shot's going to be good with Scott Adkins and his giant sniper rifle. He's never really let me down. I've got a bunch of stuff from Diabolic DVD that had some Ronin Flicks titles that you can't get wide through Amazon. One of them is LA Bounty. Or if you can get it, Amazon Australia's never had the damn thing anyway, so whatever. LA Bounty with Sybil Danning and Wings Hauser. I bought this for the Wings action. Always been curious to see this one, but have never seen it. It's directed by Worth Keeter. Reading a little bit from the back here, it's got cult icon Sybil Danning from Howling 2. I love that they put that as the first credit there. That's absolutely hilarious. An ex-cop turned bounty hunter. And we've got Wings as the bad guy. So there you go. She's going to take down Wings. He's a psychotic artist and drug dealer who killed her partner and kidnapped an LA mayor candidate. Worth Keeter directed Trapper County Law and Snapdragon. So should be a good one. Yeah. I expect this will be an entertaining film from 1985. So it's right in the good age of action films, and it's Sybil with a giant, what is this, M16 or something. Amazing. So Umbrella Entertainment have been doing these new double feature sci-fi packs, which are very cool. The first one here, the retro sci-fi double feature, has Tarantula and the Incredible Shrinking Man. I watched both of these back to back, and very entertaining films. Tarantula, it's actually a bit of a slow burn for a while for a 50s sci-fi kind of thing before the giant ridiculous spiders show up, and they look really good. They actually look really good. They're city-sized spiders. Being in black and white, I think, really helped that. So that was a good one. And The Incredible Shrinking Man. That was a lot more thought-provoking than I was expecting it to be. Like there's a lot of feeling going into that one. So much so that Criterion's just put out a Blu as well. So I imagine this is not up to the quality standards of Criterion's, but it looks really good as far as I'm concerned. I don't see the need to upgrade from this Blu to that Blu. I'm happy enough with this. But yeah, definitely The Incredible Shrinking Man was a good highlight for me. Was a lot, dealing with what's going on in his head when this man, he just keeps shrinking, and how people keep seeing him, how he has to relate to people, him trying to cope with this concept that he just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller until he is the size of an ant, and then it turns into giant prop tables and chairs around him. He's running through them, escaping from the cat, that kind of stuff. You do get all that, but all the stuff before, as he is shrinking, is really quite interesting, quite thought-provoking. So yeah, good double feature. There you go. There's the disc, a reverse cover, and yeah, enjoying these things they're putting out. The next one they just put out the last couple of weeks. Monolith Monsters and the Deadly Mantis. Now both of these have had Shout Factory Blues, so I was happy to effectively pay half the price and get them on one disc. Yeah, Monolith Monsters, that was really interesting. It starts off with your thing that crashes from asteroid that crashes from space kind of thing, and the scientists working out what's going on, and these stone monoliths just keep getting bigger, and they're like they're alive. They're anyone that touches them is sort of infected, becomes another monolith, another rock, and it turns into your usual get the army and shoot nukes at it kind of thing. But yeah, I thought that one was really good. And Deadly Mantis I haven't chucked on yet, so that's the next one to put on, Deadly Mantis. So yeah, Monolith Monsters, Deadly Mantis, again, reverse cover, just removes the ratings logo, because Umbrella are doing a lot of US sales now. It seems that these things show up on Diabolic. I think they might show on Amazon as a third party in America. So yeah, they're obviously sending them out where the demand is, so that's cool. I'm stoked to get this. This was a Shout Factory but direct only title. Ordered a little while ago. With these things I go in with at least one other mate, sometimes with two, to reduce the shipping cost, because from Shout's website they do not ship to Australia. We have to use a third party reshipping service that costs more money, so it makes sense to get a bunch of us together. We did, and I had to go and retrieve this from him at some point, and that is Dead Space, which is a Roger Corman produced. Basically he's just redone one of his previous films. It's just sort of a retelling of Forbidden World, and I liked it. I think it's fine. It just takes Forbidden World from is that late 70s or early 80s? Anyway, it takes it from like 1980 to 1990. What is this? Something like that. 1990 on the dot. So it's probably adding a decade to it. And it's good. It's entertaining. It's got Mark Singer from Beastmaster. He's the main guy in this. It just follows the same kind of plot where people, the Thing kind of thing, when there's people on a ship that just keep getting picked off by an unseen monster. They all, invent tracking devices to go and locate the Thing and try and kill it. And it's got some pretty fun gore in it, which I wasn't expecting. So, yeah, I do recommend it. I think you might still just be able to get copies of this, but as I said, if you're not from the States, you've got to jump through some hoops to get it, which is a bit of a pain. But, worthwhile if you like this kind of thing. 2 versions of the film, including the extended cut. The extended is what I watched. Has a 2K scan and interpositive for the extended cut, and it looked really good, really sharp. So yeah, there you go. Dead Space has the reverse art, which is nice, but I prefer the other one. So there you go. It's kind of clean, nice looking artwork in a ridiculous eco case. I got to go all this effort to get this stuff from the States and reship and all that blah blah blah, and it comes a bloody eco case. Anyway, Dead Space, recommended, good fun. Next up, we got Blind Rage. Got this in that diabolic order. This is a Ronin. This one is definitely a Ronin Flicks title that you can't get wide because it's got no barcode on the back. This was a well, I guess you could sort of say it's a Leo Fong film. He's one of the main stars in it. You get Leo Fong. Who else do we have on this? Tony Ferreira, Dick Adair, Darnell Garcia, Charlie DeVeo, Layla Hermosa are the main people. And the majority of those were... The plot of this is actually quite cool. Can't remember what her name was. This lass here is planning to rob... well, she's the middleman. She's the one that's providing the mission. So she gets all these blind guys together, 5 or 6 of them, to rob a bank. And the idea that they're going to get away with it is because who's going to suspect the blind people? It's kind of ingenious. And you get sort of training montages of them, you know, firing guns based on the sound of things around, rather because they can't see, and you know, shooting targets based on sound. You know, listening to each other's footsteps to determine who is who. You know, lots of stuff that you wouldn't think of being a normal montage. So that was good fun. And yeah, Leo Fong is one of the more main. He gets some of the main lines, I think, as one of the criminals, one of the blind criminals. But then you get, as is suggested here on the end, Fred Williamson as Jesse Crowder, who he does his cigar. He shows up for the last 15 minutes at best. It's probably more like 10. Shows up at the end to to hunt down, because he's the only one that can, the head of this crime syndicate. Hunt him down and then fight him in a battle on a rooftop. He's got his cigar in his mouth the whole time. It's classic Fred Williamson, and you know, that gives him a credit. So anyway, this was a good fun film. The print is it's actually interesting. So the first reel sort of like, oh, this is all kind of blown out, scratchy. It's got some, you know, it's pushed to the blue, like the faces are purple kind of thing. But each reel gets better and better, and the third reel looks really quite good. So you know, it is what it is, and this is a shot in the Philippines film, so you are thankful that it exists at all, let alone in HD. So this is from Efren C. Pinion. He did a bunch of films with Leo Fong. So yeah, very cool. Blind Rage, enjoyed that one. It's also very cheap on Diabolic. I think it's a run-out sale or something. Killer Party. Waited for this one to drop in price. This has been on a lot of people's want list for ages. There was a MGM, I think, manufacturer on demand DVD, and people were saying, oh dear, it's not the full cut of the film because it is just the standard theatrical cut. And if we get a Blu-ray, will it be uncut? No, it's the same theatrical cut. So you know, it's the same slasher film. It doesn't have the extra bits. Does it have them in the special features? Don't think so. No. Just, you know, I think those bits are lost to time, or lost in a vault, whatever, the extra gorier bits that people keep talking about. But yeah, Killer Party is one of those, what year is this? 86 slasher from William Fruitt. And yeah, it's quite a good one. I haven't watched this particular disc, but I watched when did I last watch? I think I last watched my tape, going back a long time. Don't remember who released that, but I had this on tape. But that cover art is iconic, so there you go. Awesome. It's nice to have a legit upgrade. I did make my own Blu-ray of this, just because I found a HD print floating around. I made a copy of it, and it looked exactly the same as this, but now that the price dropped, I have a legit copy, so very cool. 2 more in this pile. The new Vestron, Steel Dawn, and man, these things are cheap. These are like $8 US or something. I don't know why they're so cheap. They're incredibly cheap. Yeah, so Patrick Swayze doing post-apoc. It's not one of the best post-apocs, but it's enjoyable. And whoever controls the water controls the valley. Total post-apocalyptic nonsense. Then it does have Brian James in it, which always increases the value of these films for me. And it's your usual, Patrick Swayze as nomad and ex-soldier roaming the desert wastes of a war-ravaged world, His mentor is killed before he can take the job of peacemaker in the town of Meridian. Nomad lends the townspeople his fighting skills instead. So it's the post-apocalyptic version of the returned traveler in the returning sheriff in like an 80s action film when he comes back to the small town. It's been taken over by the gang. Similar kind of thing with Still Dawn, but they're fighting over water now. Interesting thing about this one, I had a small contribution with the archival featurette Making of Still Dawn. They needed a copy of that, which came from a DVD that I happened to have, so I sent the files to them, and here we are. It is on this Blu-ray, so if you watch the Making of Still Dawn feature on here, it is from a previous DVD release, and it was I that made it happen. Wahaha. Anyway, very cool. Nice to have a slipcover edition. I do like the Vestrons. And the last one from this pile, which is from Umbrella Entertainment, Possession. This has had umpteen Blu-ray releases now. I think the UK had the most elaborate one. And it's a film that I've never seen. I've never bitten the bullet. It's just never grabbed me. So many people are talking about it. Getting the deluxe 4-disc edition or whatever it was. I don't know. For some reason, it just never picked this up. It never appealed to me enough to pick it up. It needed to be something that was a local release that had dropped in price by 30%, and then I went, okay, I'll pick it up now. So for $20, I have a copy of Possession with some, probably have to, I don't know, too late, whatever, cartoon boobies. As for the film, I don't know a great deal about it, honestly. It's one of those ones I should know more about, but I have never seen it. It is from 1981. It does have Sam Neill, who's quite young in it. Film by Film by a Polish person. Can't say that name. And it's got Margaret Carstensen in it, as well as Sam Neill. And some of those imageries on the back with the biting of the blood lips there, I recognise from promo shots and things, but I've never seen this film. So I'll be going in blind and seeing if it's up my alley or if it's art house wank. I don't know. I do recognise that cover. The Umbrella DVD had that. There's another version of it there. And inside, just the Umbrella disc, and it's got more reverse artwork if you wanted to. So I'm happy to finally have this and check it out. I'm assuming that many people are going to tell me that this is a great film and that I should have watched it already, and perhaps I should have, but I'll get there in some time. We'll kick straight into the second pile now. We've got 3 imprint releases. I've been getting quite a few of them. I'm not going all in. I'm not doing that. I'm just getting the ones that are appealing to me, and that's pretty much the way that I do anything now. Getting releases because I've got a sequential numbering. I'm only doing that for basically the Shaw Brothers 88 films and the Vestrons. That's about all I can think of. But anyway, and that's because generally the films in those series I at least like or really like. So anyway, back on topic. The Gift. Very excited to get this one on Blu. This has always been one of those films I've really, really enjoyed. Saw it in cinema when it came out in sort of like 97, 98. 2000. Jeez, it was that late. 2000. So I was 20 when I saw this. Wow, I feel old. Anyway, saw this in the cinema. And really enjoyed it. It's got Cate Blanchett and Keanu Reeves and a bunch of other, at the time, sort of mid-late 90s, early 2000s people you'd see in a lot of these films. Hilary Swank is in this, Katie Holmes is in this, and what's his name, Giovanni Ribisi. He's always good fun. He was in this. So it's got quite the cast. This is a big enough Hollywood film, but I don't think enough people remember it or talk about it much. It has been on DVD only. Apparently there was a German Blu-ray at some point, but obviously not widespread enough knowledge about that thing. Otherwise I would have picked it up. This is really the first proper English-friendly Blu-ray, and it's coming out of Australia, so there you go. It looks very good. Nice HD scan, good sound. DTS HD 5.1 surround and 2.0 stereo PCM mix for the purists. I really like this film. It's a little bit horror in its themes, but it's more of a sort of a a spiritual, almost procedural in a way. Like it's sort of solving the crime through different means. It's a really good film. I think Cate Blanchett does a really good role as a sort of tarot card reader, and she has ESP and that kind of thing. She can see things as they unfold, see things into the future, and that sort of helps her. That's the gift that she has. Keanu Reeves, he plays the wife-beating redneck married to Hilary Swank in this one, and he's a nasty bit of work in this. He's quite believable as the backwater yokel that would drive a big truck and beat up his wife. It's a really good film. If you've never seen it, I don't know, I don't want to say something like The Sixth Sense, but that's like, I saw it at the same time as that, and it does have some kind of similar themes to it, but it's nothing like that at all. I don't know, it's really throwing you off if I say that. It's in the same world as that kind of thing. Anyway, there's the really nice imprint artwork on the inside, and the disc. So that's number 90 in their range. My god, I would need an entire shelf if I was collecting all their things. The Gift, highly recommended. Next one, never seen this, but it looks really cool. The Brotherhood of Satan. I mean, come on, it's called The Brotherhood of Satan. It's from 1971, and it's involving witches that look normal by daytime, and then at night there's demon spirits. Murder in a Californian town. I'm reading from the back here. Which keeps them in the grip of terror. So there you go. And it's got a film author and critic, Kim Newman. I think it's a featurette on the Brotherhood of Satan. So that's itself worth watching, because Kim Newman's always very entertaining. Knows a lot about movies. And there's the inside. So yeah, this is one. I had a double feature. I think it was with this and Dr. Sardonicus. I never got around to watching it. It was a really cheap Blu-ray from like Mill Creek or something. Nothing looked very good about it. I think I traded it away before I got a chance. So I'll call this the proper Blu-ray. Arrow's put it out at the same time, so I dare say that it's the exact same transfer between both companies. So just get whichever one's easier. Nice and red. Everything's just red. So there you go. Brotherhood of Satan. I'll see what that one's like. This one I watched last night, Possession of Joel Delaney. Sort of like a proto-Exorcist, like it's shot the year before, 1972. Exorcist came out in 73, starring Shirley MacLaine. But instead of being a possessed daughter, it is a possessed brother, and it's not by the devil, it is by possessed by another spirit, by another person, a serial killer. And it's similar in a lot of ways to The Exorcist. And it's what's her name? Shirley MacLaine is the upper class woman, husband. You can tick off a lot of the things here. Upper class woman with a child, tick. The husband is no longer part of the picture, tick. She's got fur coats and has a cook and help around the house, tick. All that kind of stuff. Lives in New York, tick. It's just all that kind of similarities to The Exorcist that came a year later. But the differences are how it all unfolds. So it goes through the similar, like, this is not going to be possession. This is, they send him to a nut house kind of thing. And then it goes into, well, none of that's working. Go to the witch doctor. And you go from the witch doctor, and it gets a bit more crazy from there. They try and exorcise this serial killer that's inhabiting the body of the brother. It doesn't work. It gets a bit more weirder and weirder till the last act. The last act is probably the best part. Last 15 minutes it gets pretty full on. Some very strange things in that last 15 minutes. It's a decent film. I will say it was too long. It goes for an hour 45. It should have been 90. It was a lot of just exposition and talking heads, a bit slow, but anyway, it's definitely worth a watch, and I think I will do better watching it a second time in a colder month. It's not a movie to watch in an Australian summer, and it was bloody humid and nasty yesterday. I probably couldn't focus enough, to be honest. I should just be watching films where things blow up when it's hot. It was too hot. I need to watch it when the temperature is like in this film. Snow, and fur coats. But anyway, this is Possession of John Delaney. It's got audio commentary by Lee Gambon, who is a film historian, Australian guy from down in Melbourne. He does books and plenty of commentaries and things like that. Video essay, interview, documentary from 1994, must be an archival one, so that's pretty cool, on Shirley MacLaine. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the film, it looks really good. I'll give you that. But if you're going in expecting, I want more Exorcist, it's not quite that, and it's not quite as good, but I will revisit it. There you go. Got 2 Shaw Brothers films in from 88 films. I'm very happy that they're continuing this line. We get the Chinese Boxer. This one is starring Jimmy Wang Yu. And I have not seen this film. I have not seen the other one either. These Shaw Brothers are entirely new to me, these ones. But it's from, as I say, the golden age of Kung Fu films. Action-packed tale of revenge, mayhem, flying fists. Of course, it's always flying fists. Martial arts school is viciously attacked by a rival gang of Japanese thugs. Very standard stuff. Li Ming swears to bring them down with violent justice. Written and directed by Jimmy Wang Yu. Chinese Boxers is fabulously fast-paced feature full of exquisite set pieces and mind-blowing fight choreography. So we'll see if any of that is true. I haven't been let down with Shaw Brothers film entirely. Some are better than others, but I've never been properly let down. So there you go. Huge influence on Kill Bill apparently, and on Bruce Lee's Fist of Fury 2 years later. So this is from 1970, quite early. And yeah, nice slipcase. There's the original art, truckload of extras and things, commentary, interviews, more interviews, trailers, TV spots. It's got reversible sleeve, as you can see. Nice slip from Kung Fu Bob that did the new design. What they've started doing as well is you get one side there, which is if you're new to this range or you don't care. The other side, they've got the numbered spine with the traditional spine font that they've been using on the rest of the line. So you can line them up like that. Like I said, the 88 Shaw line is one that's got me by the balls with the numbering. So you go number 27. Next one. This one is Disciples of Shaolin. I'm told this one's really good. Another Kung Fu vehicle, blah blah blah. Disciples of Shaolin delivers a typically power-packed Hong Kong tale of enemy gangs and super cool fight scenes. When disciple Kwang Fung Yi takes a job as a textile factory, he soon becomes embroiled in a bitter and violent clash with a rival clan who runs a neighbouring textile factory. So there you go. A lot of these things are just sort of revenge films, aren't they? Which is good fun anyway. A bit of a catalyst and then brawl. That's all you want. Disciples of Shaolin, we get a bunch of extras again. Booklet notes. I didn't show the booklet in the other one, but there is a booklet, I believe. There's the poster art. Got a poster in this one, which I'm not going to unfold. And you do get booklet, Disciple of Shaolin, picture booklet. Got some interviews there. And that'll be cool. And reverse art again. As the slip cover. So number 28 I think. So there's the new spine, and then there's the number 28 spine. So there you go. Disciples of Shaolin from 88. They've got at least 2 more coming, maybe 3. They've got quite a few lined up, so very cool. Next one is Voyage into Space. I don't know anything about this one at all. I picked it up because it was another Ronin that I can't normally get, so I took my chance while I could when I was doing a Diabolic order. Chucked it in there because I have not seen this on Amazon or anything like that. But it is up my alley anyway. This is a movie cut from a TV series, and there's the slip. Take that off. We'll hear a bit about it. Giant robot hit that monster with a megaton punch. That's a quote. So Voyage into Space, the story of a boy and his flying robot, which was an afternoon broadcast show, apparently, probably in the US. And this is the adventures of Johnny Soko, comes to home first time in Blu-ray. secret agent of the Unicorn peacekeeping organization as he battles the vile minions and colossal monsters of Emperor Guillotine, an extraterrestrial dictator, the nefarious Gargoyle Gang. Joining the fight is an atomic-powered giant robot armed with a fantastic array of super weapons that only Johnny can command via his remote control wristwatch, which is very cool for what year? 1969. It says here, so it's the original compilation movie assembled by American International Television from episodes of the Toei Company television series Johnny Soko and his flying robot. So, like I said, TV series condensed into a movie. And that's fine. I mean, it'd be curious to see the series, but I imagine there's a lot of stuff you could remove and have a nice tightly packed film. So there you go, Voyage into Space, and it is in this English dub. It just says English. Yes, English dubbed Glory. So I guess that's also the main difference, is the original series would have been in Japanese. So there you go, Voyage into Space. It's really started raining outside, so hopefully that doesn't overpower what we're listening to, which is myself. Ha ha ha. Ebola syndrome on just bloody 4K. Ebola syndrome. Golden age. We are in a golden age. Absolutely mental. Of course, there's vinegar syndrome. They've popped out this one. Just taking a look at that fantastic artwork. Is this a Dude Designs? It kind of looks like a Dude Designs, but I do not see his signature, so I will assume it's his not. Similar kind of stuff though. There it is, the gory cover. There is the reverse. So as I said, it is a 4K, which I can't do anything with, but it has a traditional Blu-ray, of course, as well, which is what I can do something with. So there's the blue and the 4K, and it has a booklet. I mean, this is just nuts. Ebola syndrome booklet, a Blu-ray and a 4K. Interviews. I just can't get over this. But anyway, Japanese. Sorry, it's not Japanese. It's a Category 3 Hong Kong gory classic from 96. God, it was that late in the game. This would have been like one of the last kind of actually being able to call it a Category 3 film before the handover back to China of Hong Kong. So. Yeah, this one is a fairly crazy, fairly nasty film about Ebola virus. I'll read a little bit from the back here. One of the most shocking and notorious Category 3 films, Herman Yol's, who did The Untold Story. Ebola Syndrome is a delectably grotesque, darkly comedic splatter film masterwork starring Hong Kong cult film superstar Anthony Wong from Hard Boiled. It's got everything you need. It's got all the right people, it's directed by the right people, and it's got the gore, and it's Category 3. Absolutely nasty film, but a fantastic one. I haven't put in this edition of it to check out the transfer, but I already know it's going to be good because it's Vinegar Syndrome. What do they do for the audio on this? It's got, doesn't actually say, it just says it's in mono and has English STH subtitles. And it is English friendly, but presumably it's in, has it got it on the side there? Yes, Cantonese. There you go. There you go, as expected. Ebola Syndrome in friggin' 4K and Blu-ray. Crazy. We got Dario Argento's Trauma. I just got done watching this one again then. I think this is quite an underrated of an Argento film. It's not his brilliant 70s run. But for, what is this, 94 or something? It's quite late. Date on the back here? No, I don't know, I can't see it. 1993, there you go, 93, I was pretty close. For a later Argento, I think it's actually pretty good. On this watch, I preferred it to Stendhal Syndrome. So, there you go. That's something. It's fairly reminiscent of the early films. It's got the black gloved killer, see through point of view shots through their eyes as they do the killings, which is by fantastic decapitation with this contraption that's like piano wire, and he presses a button and it tightens around the neck, and then the head goes pop. And each one of them is brilliant. and it also has Asia Argento, Dario's daughter. She's 18 at this time, but she's playing a 16-year-old. So whatever. She's quite young. Her first proper starring role. I'll take out the slip. There's the other artwork. She's fine in this. She's playing sort of a, I don't know, ex-druggy, slightly crazy. Starts the film by trying to jump off a bridge, gets saved by this other guy. I don't remember his name, but they end up sort of, I don't want to say teaming up, but they get involved into the main plot. There's the killer that keeps decapitating people. They sort of get involved where the police don't, the usual kind of police procedural giallo thing, and of course the attention starts getting drawn towards Asia's character, and she becomes the target, and it just keeps going down the usual pathway that these films do. But it's got some good Argento gore in it, some violence. It's I think it was actually quite good fun. I know a lot of people don't like it at all. All I gotta say is this is not the third Mother film. That's a piece of crap. Trauma is not a piece of crap. This is a perfectly fine giallo film. It's just not as good as his 70s films. It looks really nice, absolutely, as well. Sounds fine. And I really enjoyed the killings. The decapitations get funnier and funnier. I've got to say, it's got Brad Dourif in there. I don't want to give too much away, but as people get their heads cut off, it does get funnier and funnier. And how people have always wondered, how long can the head survive after it's been cut off? Just keep that in mind as the film continues, because it's brilliant. Anyway, I thought this was a perfectly good film. So there you go, Trauma by Dario Argento. And it really helps with Vinegar Syndrome doing these absolutely immaculate presentations. It's also the longest cut ever thrown together. So if you've seen the film in previous cuts and you didn't like it too much, give this one a go, because they've put together this hour, 109 minutes, was an hour 45, hour 49. It didn't feel long either. I think it moves at quite a good pace. And it doesn't, it's got some silly moments, some stuff that didn't have to happen, and typical Dario putting how things look before dialogue. That happens quite a bit, but you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound with Dario Argento. And Trauma, certainly not a bad film. Next one we get finally in HD after almost getting it about, I think it was maybe 5 years ago at this point. We almost got this in HD, and then the problem with the rights happened. We didn't get it in the end. We got a DVD. I was very lucky to get that DVD, and that DVD looked fantastic. I'm talking about Titan Find. I'm talking about Creature, now out on Vinegar Syndrome. They must have got the rights sorted with, I think it's an MGM film from memory. But anyway, really good film. This is directed by William Malone. That's the artwork that most people know. I would have actually preferred that instead of this one. This is kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it's from a previous release or something. It's not what I'm familiar with. I'm familiar with this. I would prefer that to be glossy. But whatever, beggars can't be choosers, and I don't really care that much. But Creature's a good fun creature feature in space. It's called Creature. Following sort of similar as Dead Space, that kind of deal. Distant future, crew of the spaceship. What? Shenandoah, strange name. Unsettling discovery after landing an archaeological dig site on Saturn moon. Titan, another craft of German origin, has already landed. Its crew appears to have vanished, save for the hot-headed captain Hans Hofner, and good old Hans Hofner, played by Klaus Kinski. That's got this yogurt that's stuck to his face for half the film. It's an absolute riot. And it looks great in HD. I don't know what was going on there. I think he just doesn't care in a lot of these films. I think he's Bruce Willising sometimes, actually. Anyway, it's not long before the truth is revealed, the form of a giant prehistoric alien that intends to eat and absorb the essence of all humans. This is a good, fun film. I've watched my Titan Find DVD quite a few times. This has got a couple of editions. You've got 4K scan from 35mm OCN, and the alternate feature-length Titan Find Director's Cut. So you get both cuts of the film, which is good to have. Nice. And we have much other special features. We got some making of documentary feature, which is cool. I wonder if that's from the past or if it's from now. I don't know. Finding Titan, the making of Creature. I should put that on soon and check one out. Space on a Budget interview with director William Malone. That will be interesting. I bet there will be some information there about the previous release. Reversible cover. What was that one? Oh yeah, this was another VHS I remember seeing around, so there you go. But really, I think that's just so iconic and so simple. Orion Pictures. Who bought Orion? Was it MGM that bought Orion? I don't know, but it was caught up in all kinds of problems. But obviously they're solved. We now have Creature on Blu-ray. I'm going to hang on to my Titan Find DVD though, because it was signed by Malone, and it's just one of those. It was a lot of effort to get it. Sometimes I keep that kind of thing. I'm going to definitely keep it. This Golden Age TC2000 on Blu-ray, and this is the second damn Blu-ray I've owned. I owned a German Blu-ray, and that was fine. I was expecting that was all I was going to get, because the Germans like putting out action films on Blu-ray. The 90s films, that kind of thing. Vinegar Syndrome's VSA line has been pumping this stuff out now, and I couldn't be happier. It's absolutely glorious. This film is great fun. Bolo Young, Jahal Murhi, and Billy Blanks, as seen on the cover here. It is a fantastic ride. So much fun. What year is this? Oh yeah, the year is 2020. Oh, that was a good year, wasn't it? Near future catastrophic environmental event has forced most people to live underground facilities, and only the poor are left to live on the surface, forming gangs in order to survive. Jason Storm, great name, Billy Blanks, part of an elite group of guards known as TCs, Tracker Communicators, tasked with protecting the underground. A group of criminals led by Nikki Picasso, which is Yahal. Is it Yahal or Jalal? I don't know if it's a soft J or a hard J. Jalal Murhi? I don't know. Infiltrate the underground and attempt to kill Storm's partner Zoe, played by Bobby Phillips. Storm soon learns about an experimental program to turn TCs into cyborgs. Teaming up with a freedom fighter from the surface named Master Sumai, which is Bolo Young, Storm must protect Picasso and uncover who is behind a conspiracy to wipe out the remaining people on the surface. There's a lot of words, but this is such a good film. Great fun. Is it PM Entertainment? I think it's PM. I think it was PM. If not, it was very adjacent, and I bought the DVD when I was buying all the PM films. I can't remember, but it feels like one. If it's not, I don't see the word PM all over this, so I'll actually retract that. It mustn't be. But there you go. TC2000 is a whale of a time. I cannot believe that we're getting this stuff. Vinegar Syndrome are too good to us. And have you seen the bundle they just put up? I got the whole lot. TC2000. This one I'm going in blind on. Steel and Lace. Looks like a direct-to-video sort of, I think it was late 80s or early 90s, Steel and Lace. Very attractive slip. It doesn't give away too much. This, I believe, is the VHS cover. And it was from 1991. David Ducotto was involved, but he's not the director, so hopefully we won't get too many topless men. Ernest Farino was the director. After her attackers go free, Gailey Morton, victim of a vicious attack, commits suicide. Her vengeful brother, brilliant robotics engineer and scientist Dr. Albert Morton, decides to use his skills to exact vengeance, transplanting her sister's brain into a humanoid cyborg. This is a winner already. Bone-crushing strength and an array of built-in torture devices, Albert begins sending Gailey on a series of missions to violently do away with the men that wronged her. What is this reminding me of? I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to put it here once I remember. Yeah, I don't remember the name of that film. I remember it had Bruce Campbell as a bit role though. I'm going to put a picture there. Twisted Tale on the Rape and Revenge genre. It's got cyborgs. Anyway, I'm in for $1. I'm in for $100. I'm gonna likely enjoy this thing. I think it looks up my trashy alley. Take a look at the other artwork. It's just the new one, I think. Yeah, just the new artwork there. But Not entirely sure why this one didn't go on a VSA line. Not sure what the reason is for some of these things, like Steel and Lace. I would have put this on VSA, and some of the other ones like Necronomicon, which was a VSA, that should have gone as a regular Vinegar Syndrome. So I'm not too sure how they split these things up. Anyway, it doesn't really bother me. There you go, Steel and Lace. Looks fun. But is it as fun as the Tiger Claws trilogy? When they announced this one, I mean, there was some murmurs that this was coming. They said it was a trilogy was coming, a trilogy. I think they might even said trilogy of action. And I was hoping it was going to be the Snake Eater trilogy, and I thought that was an easy bet because there's German Blu-rays of that. So I thought, okay, it's going to be that. I would have been happy with that. I would have been ecstatic with that. I was over the friggin' moon to get Tiger Claws on Blu-ray. All three of them on VSA. I mean, the first film is a classic. Second film's great. Third one is it's very different to the other two. I rewatched the first one a couple of nights ago. Cynthia Rothrock, she's amazing in it. And Jalal Mehi is also in the film. So Cynthia is a cop. She's sort of undercover. She's actually a bit like sort of Eddie Murphy, a bit in like the way that she talks back to the police chief, that kind of thing. I don't know. I had that opinion that thought crossed my mind when I was watching it. I'm really tired. Anyway, it's nothing like Eddie Murphy film. I retract that. Anyway, but it does have that buddy thing that goes on with Jalal Mehi and Cynthia Rothrock when they go together to basically tick off all of the 90s action boxes. You've got the obligatory strip club scene. You've got the fight in the pool room using the pool cues, abandoned warehouse and the boxes. Like, it's all there. It's all fantastic, and it's such a good fun film from 1991. So that's the one that I've watched this time round. I haven't watched the other editions yet, but man, and Bolo, he's a nasty guy in this one. Bad Bolo. I like it when Bolo's bad. Bolo's more fun when he's bad. So you get a poster, 2 discs, part 1 and 2 on disc 1, and part 3 on its own disc. Truckload of special features, brand new commentary with Jalal Mehi for all 3 films. That's cool. Making of documentary on Tiger Claws with Cynthia Rothrock and Jalal. Martial art porn, a making of documentary on Tiger Claws 2 with Cynthia Rothrock. Martial art porn. Interesting. Mystical Claws, a making of documentary on Tiger Claws 3. All 3 of them get making of documentaries, so I have to sit down and really work through the rest of this set, which I still don't believe exists. Tiger Claws trilogy, Blu-ray, Vinegar Syndrome. And then first they gave us Martial Law 1 and 2. Now we have this. Next up we have the new Fractured Visions release. This one is Freehand for a Tough Cop, Umberto Alenzi Eurocrime film from what year is this? It'll be 1976. Thank you very much. Not seen this one before. I've been told again that it's quite a good one. But you get Thomas Millian, Claudio Casanelli, and of course Henry Silva, who's there in the corner. He's always really good. Millian's always really good. So this one I've not seen again. Introduced Thomas Millian's legendary Moneza to audiences around the world, aka Garbage Can. Is that his nickname? Anyway, critically ill daughter of prominent family is kidnapped by a ruthless band of thugs. Inspector Sati, Claudio Casanelli, from Suspected Death of a Minor, that's a good film, is forced to bend the rules and oversees the prison break of Sergio Moneza Marizzi, Thomas Millian, from Brothers Till We Die. A low-life criminal with deep roots in the criminal underworld, the unlikely duo team up in hopes of retrieving the girl and catching the infamous Brescinelli, Henry Silva from Almost Human, and a slew of other things. Crime boss behind the kidnapping, so Eurocrime, standard territory here. Sounding very good to me. UK debut. Fractured Visions have done a nice 3000 limited version here. You get slip, and there's the Italian La Candina poster, so that's really cool, very pink. And using the, love it when they use the full size cases without the Blu-ray stamp on it. Some lobby cards and booklet. We'll take a quick look at. There's the chapters on it, and got some pictures and some stuff about the film. More pictures. Very cool. Nice to have this. Get those cards back in there. There you go. Il Trucido e lo Sabiro. That's my Italian. My terrible, terrible Italian. Freehand for a tough cop. Very excited to check this one out. Yeah, Umberto Lenzi. And last one in this pile. How long have we been waiting for this now? 7 years? 6, 7 years? I cannot remember when Synapse announced this thing, but it was so long ago. The Kindred on Blu-ray in a slipcover. The steelbook, because that's what they do now. They only do these steelbooks until they don't. But if you ask them now, all they're going to do is a steelbook. But then they don't. Then the regular edition comes out. I don't know. Don't believe a word they say, but whatever. It is worth pumping your money down. Kindred. Take the slip off, and I'll be very careful. I used to like slips. I really don't like them. Steelbooks. Really don't like them now because you just breathe them the wrong way and you get scratches, and that's kind of annoys me. Look, I'm already seeing a scuff from inside of them. Whatever. 3-disc edition of the Kindred. I haven't even taken the paper sleeve off the back. Let's do that now together. Oh yeah, that was good, right? There's the paper. We'll read that in a second, but there's the lovely artwork on the back. So it's a nice steel. It is a nice steel. I'm just being a prick. There you go. You get their film guide, which is likely filled with films we won't get to the year 2028. I am being a prick. And then a booklet on the Kindred. And multiple discs. With soundtrack, Blu-ray, and it's just a regular DVD. I guess it is a regular DVD. So there you go. Whoop, pop it together there. So it's definitely a feature heavy. Get in there. Can I even close it? Come on, you son of a... Really? Got it in the end. Bloody steelbooks. It is and I forgot to put the booklet in there. Feature rich and heavy set. God, now the glue from the... Get off there. Causing problems for myself. Anyway. These are the things you get in it. It's the Kindred. Just go buy it. On to the bigger editions and box sets now. Getting to the world's the end here. We have Hatchet for the Honeymoon, which has got a nice Blu-ray here from Arrow. Nice box. They're getting in with what 88's been doing, or 88's been getting with what Arrow's been doing. I don't know. They've all been doing these hard boxes now for editions that don't particularly need to have this kind of treatment. But yeah, what the hell? It doesn't cost much more. It's like $5 more to get this kind of edition. Booklet. Talk about the film in a minute. But there you go. Some nice information. Alternate covers. Little posters and things. More stuff about the movie. And there's the more traditional poster artwork. We had a Cinema Cult Blu-ray of this, which was, acceptable. And used that artwork. And there is a poster in there as well. So there you go. And again, like I do with the Shoreline, if you wish to discard all of this material, you can just line up your Italian line, which is number 69, dude, of Il Rosso Segno della Foglia. Worst Italian ever. Anyway, Hatchet for the Honeymoon. Been quite a number of years since I watched this. I didn't watch the Cinema Cult Blue. I watched my old, was it Anchor Bay? Something like that, like going back 18 years ago since I last watched this on very early DVD, maybe Shriek Show. I don't remember. Certainly quite a while ago I watched this. But it's a Mario Bava film from what year? 1980? No? 1970. 80. Where I got 80 from? 1970. Godfather of Italian horror comes Hatchet for the Honeymoon. A superlative early 70s slasher places us in the erstwhile filmmaker back in the realm of the giallo feature. So it is quite a giallo kind of film. And has echoes of Psycho and Peeping Tom. Unsettling production sees troubled protagonist John Harrington, played by Stephen Forsyth, turning to a life of serial killing. Refused a divorce by his uncaring wife and haunted by childhood trauma, John takes out his murderous frustrations on a string of would-be brides innocently cross his path. So there you go. Undoubtedly an influence on later movies like Maniac and a host of other chillers, this often overlooked piece from one of Europe's finest. It is true, when you line up all the Barbie films, I think this one does not get talked about as much. So yeah, from 1970, and you get, what else do you get in here? You get English audio, dual mono DTS MA English soundtrack and English subtitles. Is there any Italian audio? No, just language of English. Interesting. And Meet the Barbers featurette, interviews, working with a master. My Dying Bride, an interview with Dr. Margus Stiglegger. My Dying Bride. That's fun to see there. And reversible sleeve. So there you go. Hatchet for the Honeymoon. Hopefully a definitive edition. Certainly looks it here. So yeah, comes in a nice box, like I said. There you go. Hatchet for the Honeymoon. Who's doing this new artwork on the outside? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, I quite like that. It's very nice. Next one. Another giant box. We get Armor of God Part 1. They released Part 2 before they released Part 1. Not too sure what the story is with that, but 88 have now reversed the polarity of the neutron flow and released Armor of God, the first film. Really, really nice artwork there. Jackie Chan being all adventurous. There's the back there. Very cool. Big box. I didn't actually realize it was going to be one of these big ones. Take a look in here. Oh, tightly packed. Rah. Come on. There we go. Tap it slowly. We get, push them back. There's the Hong Kong artwork, at least one or two of them. Not too sure the use scenarios for these things. And we get one Blu-ray disc. We get a bunch of lobby card deals. And a second Blu-ray disc, presumably the special features. Golden Harvest film. We will have a read of the card here. This is the wraparound card, which I popped inside. My God, there's a lot of features on this. Unquestionably the most popular martial arts actor of his generation, Jackie Chan features in this mid-80s Indiana Jones-esque romp, which mixes Hollywood thrills with Hong Kong action, which is always a winner, and that's why Jackie Chan succeeded. Former musician Asian Hawk, Chan became embroiled in a dangerous quest to seek out the last three parts of Lost Treasures of the Armor of God in order to save his ex-bandmate's girlfriend from the clutches of a ruthless cult. Heavily inspired by Spielberg's movie series, the style and stunt sequences are all delivered with the star's custom brand of slapstick and physical prowess. I have not seen the first film before. I've only seen the second one. I did have it in a big Hong Kong Legends box, but I never actually watched either of the films, and I've only watched Part 2 since I got the Blue. So I don't know, it's just what happened. But look at the amount of features here in that tiny font. Wow. So it's Kung Fu Bob artwork again on the front, which is why it's cool. Fold out poster, as I showed you, lobby cards, replica lobby cards, 88 page book. Wow. That is certainly, one hell of a book, 88 pages. That is quite a lot. Wow. That is impressive. What do we got here? We got an MSX game. Jackie Chan had an MSX game for this? Spartan X. That's fantastic. Oh my God, this is all 8-bit stuff. Oh my God, what is this? Hudson Soft Games. That is retro gaming goodness. I have to get into that. What else do we get? Multiple audio options, alternate way of hearing the theme song for the closing credits. Like it's a typical. This is like Eureka with the amount of audio options that they've got. You get Art of Action with Scott Adkins and Matt Routledge. I've been watching the Art of Action. Scott has been uploading them on his YouTube, so that's cool. That is, they've actually put one of those on here. That's very cool. Jackie Chan on VHS, the VPD years with Steve Lawson. Rise of the Phoenix, Radek Sienski on Armor of God, episode of a celebrity talk show, and they've just called it Celebrity Talk Show, and then they've got in brackets the Chinese characters, so it just mustn't have a good translation. But they've got the 1989 episode of a celebrity talk show, presumably from Hong Kong. That's amazing, and all kinds of other stuff here. So this is a ridiculous edition from 88 Films, and I guess that is probably why we got this one after. They were probably spending so much time putting this together that they got number 2 out first, and then we got Armor of God. Fantastic. We get the very first digital release, I believe. I don't think there was a DVD of this, of Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. It's an 80s horror film that I have only been reading about. I've never seen this ever before. Another ridiculous edition. I mean, Phantom of the Mall and a giant hardbox thing like this. There's the other artwork. I guess there's the VHS artwork, and had a hype sticker that was on the shrink wrap that I transplanted to the front of this case, so I didn't lose the hype sticker. 2 discs again, Blu-ray, and then another Blu-ray of the TV and fan cut. So fan, P-H-A-N, which I guess is sort of an ultimate cut. They've put everything together you could possibly get. Lobby cards, which is cool. Looking very Freddy Krueger. So honestly, very much going in blind with this one. This was recommended extra. The Mutilator was very impressed that this was coming out. So I just sort of jumped on when this was affordable. Poster and a booklet of the film. Crazy production notes. More about the film. Interview there. Nuts. And let's have a quick read on the back here. High school sweethearts Eric and Melody. Love's young dreams turn into a nightmare when Eric apparently dies in a fire. Yep, sounding very Freddy Krueger there. Which engulfs his family home. 1 year later, Melody is trying to move on with her life, taking up a job at the new mall, along with her friends. The mall, which stands on the very site of his Eric's former home, has an uninvited guest, a shadowy, scarred They built a mall on top of a dead man's house. Brilliant. Shadowy, scarred figure haunts its air ducts and subterranean passageways, hell-bent on exacting revenge. Man, this is going to be great. I already can tell it's going to be great. Limited 2-edition Blu-ray, disc 1 theatrical cut, and then disc 2 the TV and the fan cuts. Directed by Richard Friedman, that did Scared Stiff and Doom Asylum. I've got both of those ones. I've watched Doom Asylum, but I haven't watched Scared Stiff. So anyway, there you go, Phantom of the Mall. I can't talk too much about it because I haven't seen it, but looking forward to it based on what everyone's been saying. So there you go, Phantom of the Mall. This has got to be the epitome of just going balls out on a home video release for something that has never been out before. This is completely crazy. Vinegar Syndrome giving us New York Ninja, which is just, look at that art, just nuts. And they've done a Beastmaster again, where you get a box, has a friggin' tag on it, so you can open it properly because it's got a magnetic strip. There's the inside. And then under that, you get a slipcover edition of the film. We get a book, and then under that, you get an I Love New York Ninja. This is crazy. People say physical media is dead. Kidding me? Tale of Two Ninjas book explaining all about this, which we'll talk about in a second. So there you go. Stuff about the film, some great photos. But what this is, and I've not watched it, I'm very much in two minds. Do I wait for a movie night with 10 beers and some of my bad movie friends? I might do. Or I might just watch it first, like I did with Miami Connection. New York Ninja, there's the other artwork. So this is a 1984, I think, film. I think it was a 1984 film. I'll just read this bit. Originally directed by and starring martial arts actor John Liu from Secret Rivals and Invincible Armor. His only American production, New York Ninja, was filmed in 35mm in 1984. The project was abandoned during production, resulting in all sound material being lost. 35 years later, Vinegar Syndrome acquired the unedited camera negative and painstakingly constructed and completed the film, enlisting voice talents of Don the Dragon Wilson, Linnea Quigley, Michael Berryman, Vince Murdocco, Matt Milter from Mutilator, Leon Isaac, Ginger Lynn Allen, and of course Cynthia Rothrock, which is what I was so excited about. They got them to do the dubbing, so the whole thing is going to be like watching a dubbed kung fu film. I kind of cannot wait to watch this. It's not even that they've got a film and then dubbed it. They had to make the film. It was unedited, so they just used the footage and made a film. Brilliant. New York Ninja. Hooray for Ninja. 2 discs. Blu-ray. I'm kind of surprised there's no 4K in this, which is a hilarious thing to say. I'm surprised there's no 4K because this thing is just mental. I guess I don't know. I can't even. Crazy. Put it back in its ridiculous slip. New York Ninja. Box. Madness. The world's mad, and I love it. Back to imprint films. Michael Caine, Harry Palmer collection. I wanted to get some. I wanted to get some Michael Caine. I didn't have enough Michael Caine, classic Michael Caine. I got a lot of later sort of stuff, but these 60s Michael Caine really didn't have anything, and I want to get some more of that quality Britishness. And this was announced as coming out from imprint. So you get the Harry Palmer collection. It's the same character he plays in all films. The Ipcress File, Funeral in Berlin, and $1 Billion Brain. I've watched the Ipcress File so far, and they were sort of described to me as being the anti-James Bond. You can see a lot of James Bond style in this attempt at the humour. It's very, very dry British wit. Like it's just retort. And the film itself is your MI5 kind of spy thing, peering through sniper rifles through glass windows, that kind of thing. Suitcases being swapped accidentally, like all that kind of cool stuff. There's the Ipcress File. HD Master, 2K scan by ITV Studios. That's the British TV studio. All kinds of features and stuff in here. The first film was really entertaining. I really quite enjoyed that. Directed by Sidney Fury. So there you go, that's the first one. There's the back of it. $1 Billion Brain, which has got a very 60s pop art looking thing going on there, very cool. With Carl Malden in it. Blackmailed into working for MI5 again on his wildest and most dangerous assignment yet, pitting his wits against an insane billionaire and a supercomputer. Like, it really is James Bond kind of stuff. Funeral in Berlin, sent to Berlin where he is to extricate a Russian general who wants to defect only to have matters complicated by an Israeli agent. Like, just brilliant stuff. So yeah, I watched the first one and I'm going to get through the other ones in due course, I think. And I do love these boxes that Imprint put together. The design of these boxes, they did this for the Silver Scream set and for a bunch of other ones, Hammer Horror ones and things, so there you go. Very nice set, very well priced too. I got this when it was 30% off, and Amazon price matched it and dropped it even more. I paid like 55 Australian, which is so cheap. Its retail is more like 100. And lastly, then you can all go to bed like I'm going to do. This came out a year ago. I wasn't going to get it. Then I had mad FOMO and really regretted not getting it. Then I got the wind that they had a few in stock, a handful of stock, and if you sent them an email, the stock reserved for conventions, they would let you buy one, and they did. So I did. The Al Adamson box set, because I needed some more trash films in my life. The ridiculousness that this exists is why I had to buy it. Look at the quantity of films you get in this ridiculous set. How many of these are watchable? I don't know. I've seen Brain of Blood. I've watched the documentary Blood and Flesh, which was very entertaining and very interesting about Al Adamson and his untimely demise. It's very, very curious. It's at least worth watching the documentary, and you can buy the documentary separately if you just want to watch that, because his films are not for everybody. Particularly the early ones, I think, are very cheap. They'd get better as you go on in terms of production values, but there's some gems here. Black Samurai is good fun. I have seen that one before. And I said Brain of Blood I thought was very entertaining. Nurse Sherry had a separate blue from Brittinger Syndrome, I think, at some point. So yeah, these are not completely unknown films to me, but most part I've not seen them. I'll take a look inside. But this is drive-in fodder. That's exactly what this was. He was making cheap drive-in movies. You're either on board or you're not. Take a quick look at the booklet. Blood and Flesh Files. Oh my god. Which is very thin pages too, so you get quite a lot of information in this one. A lot of this will be covered by the documentary, because it talked about pretty much all the films in order. It's a very good companion piece, so there you go, very nice. And the films themselves, there you go, you get them in, which is not my favourite, but you get the slip kind of thing on the side where you pull the disc out. You know, you just don't want to flip these pages too quick and launch a disc, I guess is the main problem. So, Blood of Dracula's Castle, Horror of the Blood Monsters. What's this one over there? The Fakers, Hell's Bloody Devils, Dracula versus Frankenstein, Brain of Blood. It's got a really cool bloody brain in it. Satan's Satis. I mean, there's all kinds of great stuff here. Great inverted commas. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And I'm very happy I did actually relent and pick it up. And yes, I know I'm going to watch a few of these and go, good God, why am I doing this to myself? But, you know, there's going to be a bunch in here that I am going to legitimately enjoy, or at least be able to smile through. So there you go. The Al Adamson set is an impressive thing from Severin. I had to buy it. So there you go. That is my fairly long, I assume, when I edit this together, it feels like it's going to be an hour. Blu-ray update, combining most of December and the early parts of January together. So my first Blu-ray update of the year. Hope you enjoyed. I'm feeling quite tired. I'm going to go to bed. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, check out this thing, that thing, whatever they may be. I will see you next.